Hey guys, welcome to All Time Gaming. I'm Chris.
I'm Roisin.
I'm Jamie.
I'm Milo.
I'm Steph.
And I'm Alex, which means everybody is here. So look, 2018 was a damn fine year for video games. We got gems like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Monster Hunter World, and Soul Calibur 6, just to name a few. But with so many amazing games coming out, what are some of the year's strongest offerings?
What is the best of the best?
Well, let us tell you.
Everyone from ATG has come together to pick out their favourite game of the year and why they love it so much.
It's an ATG gathering.
So get ready to add some games to your wish list as we take a look at 6 of the best games from 2018.
In a year of sequels and reboots, it was nice to get a fresh new franchise out of the woodwork. And while it holds the name of many a game before it, Spider-Man on the PS4 is nothing but new. And it's amazing.
Hold on. Amazing Spider-Man?
Marvel's Spider-Man casts you as everyone's favourite neighbourhood mutant arachnid cog in the well-oiled machine that is Manhattan.
Wow, okay, getting poetic with it.
Yes, I am.
Waxing lyrical.
This game deserves it. The open world allows you to take full advantage of the expertly crafted swinging mechanics that allow you to traverse the sprawling metropolis at thrilling speeds. And even though you feel like you're going 200 miles per hour, the graphics remain jaw-dropping at all times.
Jonesy, I could sit here listening to you talk about web slinging all day long, baby.
Who invited Bill Shakespeare?
The game is also pushed along by a well-structured narrative that, despite faltering at times, kept me hooked from its start all the way through to 100%. That's right, I enjoyed it so much, I platinumed it.
Wow. I mean, me too, but...
Yes, but from me, that's something special.
I guess so.
Plus, the addition of having Spidey be in his 20s and not in his teen years allowed for a more mature and relatable Peter Parker.
It was a nice touch.
But look, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. Use of gadgets could have been a bit more seamless, a la Arkham titles, and the side quests tilted toward tedium at times.
Side quests tilted towards tedium.
But once you were swinging, kicking, flipping, and parkouring your way from free roaming to set pieces, the cobwebs fell away and the immersion was complete. I really felt like I was Spider-Man, and it was one hell of a ride.
Bit of a cliche to say that you felt like Spider-Man in a Spider-Man game, but...
No, I really felt like I was Spider-Man,
you
Chris.
felt Spider-Man up.
I really felt like I was Spider-Man.
Okay,
This
then.
is Jonesy's IGN job application, clearly.
2018 has been a seriously long year. It's been kind of hard keeping track of what's come out, but there was a game back in March that won me over.
Oh, yeah?
Personally.
Ooh.
I mean...
I wonder what it is.
and still stands as my game of the year. That's Far Cry 5.
It's a fun game.
I mean, I couldn't pick God of War, so...
So you had to pick something.
So here we are.
Far Cry 5 it is, okay.
The game story wasn't too much of a focus for me, but
Yeah.
something about the post-apocalyptic cult was kind of cool. I thought it was
Yeah?
kind of cool. Yeah.
Kind of.
All right. Jeez. But the real reason why I fell for the game was the insane amount of goofiness that was in it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there was some cracking shit.
Especially when you're driving that, 18-wheeler of justice and it's got the LMGs in the front.
And then a fucking buffalo comes out of nowhere and knocks everyone over and blows up. Oh, it's great.
Hell yeah, only Far Cry can deliver those kinds of thrills.
Yeah. I had so many great times where I'd go out to do one thing and then end up getting roped into some craziness along the way. But that's why, Chris, why it was a lot of fun. The chaos was a lot of fun.
Chaos.
I really liked teaming up with the Resistance. They were all very likeable. Sharky, Grace, Nick, they were some of my favourite characters in the game, particularly Sharky, because he had a big flamethrower, and I would just call him and he would just wipe everyone out.
Hey, Sharky!
Cool. He sorted them all out for me. And this is something that was lacking in Far Cry 4.
Yeah, those other people that you could rely on and they could just cause chaos with you.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But Chris, I also really loved the Fangs for Hire system. It was pretty cool. There was times when it would just be me, Boomer, and Peaches going like a pack at all these Peggies.
Yeah. For me, it was all about cheeseburger.
Yeah, I mean, I did like cheeseburger, but hey, a cougar and a cool dog, yes, please. The game's fast-paced action gunplay made it hard for me to put down, and the game found perfect balance between being a cheeky political satire and a fun, goofy video game. I do love a bit of dystopia with a wacky sense of humour, and that's why Far Cry 5 is my game of the year.
Yeah, a cheeky game of the year.
Cheeky game of the year.
Now, if you know me, and I'd like to think you two do,
I mean, we know you on a surface level, but who is the real Jamie?
you don't want to know the answer to that question. But you should know enough about me that my choice won't be a surprise at all.
Yeah, I think I know what it's going to be. You know what it's going to be?
I know what it's going to be.
It's all I've talked about for the last 4 years,
Yeah,
let alone the last 4 months.
Drilling it in our ear every time.
I've always been a big fan of Rockstar's open world games, and so Red Dead Redemption 2 easily steals the show for me, making it my game of the year.
Wow.
I could probably leave on that.
That's all we really need to know about it, right?
Red Dead 2 is a groundbreaking achievement in gaming. It's exactly what a Rockstar game built from the ground up for the current generation should be, delivering the deepest, most beautiful open world I think I've ever explored, and somehow managing to fill it to the brim with character charm, humour, and a ludicrous amount of interactivity.
Characters, world-filling, interactivity.
Yeah, they even won some awards for it.
Phenomenal game.
I spent hours not doing missions and just explored the wilderness, engaging with NPCs, hunting animals, providing for my camp, and having conversations with strangers.
Hey, mister!
Really?
I had the goddamn plan!
Sure, it's slow at times, but it feels like it's entirely by design. Rockstar were happy to set the pace, and for whatever reason, I was more than happy to follow. I mean, I didn't mind walking around camp. I took the time to eat, to drink, to rest. The usual impatience I feel during open world games was completely gone, and I was suddenly happy to spend over 80 hours meandering around this stunningly rendered Old West, and I still haven't actually stopped playing it. This is what happens when a company has 7 years, thousands of employees, and GTA 5 money to make a game, and those elements have all bled into every facet of Red Dead Redemption 2. The attention to detail will never cease to impress me, and the story moved me in ways that, well, I'd actually be kind of embarrassed to admit.
Oh,
how much?
Fess up.
Chris, many a tear was shed. I said some emotional farewells this year, that's what I'll say. Overall, though, I thought it was a top-to-bottom masterclass in how to craft a video game.
Well played, sir.
I'm sensing that you agree.
I do agree.
Shake my hand.
Wow.
Don't know if that picks up on mic, but we just shook hands.
2018 was a brilliant year for JRPGs. We got the fantastic Ni no Kuni 2 and the critically acclaimed Octopath Traveler, showing that an old genre can still learn some new tricks. But for me, the real standout game of the year was an RPG that stuck to its old school roots, but it did so flawlessly. Dragon Quest XI is a perfect example of how some stories are truly timeless. You travel around a gorgeous fantasy world with your band of unlikely heroes, going from place to place, helping people and having small adventures as you go. The game feels like a classic storybook, with each quest feeling like a chapter out of a much larger story, and it's all carried by the characters. Having a mute protagonist is a bit upsetting at first, but as your gang grows in numbers, you'll find they do most of the talking for you.
Standard fare as well, isn't it, really?
Oh, they go on and on sometimes. You're like, yeah, I get it, but at the same time, don't stop, I love it.
Keep talking, I love you.
The game has what might be the greatest character in JRPG history, Sylvando. This beautiful man just needs his own game, him and his lovely boys.
Hopefully for the next few years, that's going to be a game of the year in
Oh my god.
a year's time.
He's so great. He's a super flamboyant jester from a circus. He can juggle, use a whip, use a sword. He's everything you want a man to be.
I love it already.
It's great. But it was the post-game that really cemented my love for the game. At one point, you have to make a choice that massively changes everything in the story, and I sat for about an hour feeling heartbroken at what I had to do to save the world. I've never been so impacted by a game in my life before now, and that's why Dragon Quest XI is my game of the year.
Right, guys, well, all those games were definitely highlights for the year. My game of choice, a bit of a PlayStation exclusive, a different breed, if you will.
A bit of a PlayStation exclusive.
I'm talking about a game about family, grieving, and more importantly, bashing dudes' heads in with a sweet-ass axe. It's God of War, boy!
Oh, I see what you mean. Boy.
There we go, boy. The game managed to change up so much from the originals, but somehow perfectly kept the fast pace and action-packed combat we all know and love. Yes, people were nervous about the camera at first, but thanks to the new systems, it wasn't long before you're pulling off sweet combos that make you feel like a Spartan warrior bashing in those pesky Nordic gods.
I felt so powerful.
Oh man, it was just such a crunchy game, wasn't it? Just like, it's the only way I can describe it, is crunchy.
Like if God of War was a sound effect, it would be...
Yeah, but more bass.
Yeah, always more bass. Catching the axe was the first time.
Or especially when you hear it coming back.
And you never drop it. Amazing. Guys, and the story. Oh my god, the story. The game managed to take a character most people saw as nothing more than just an angry, bald man and turned him into one of the best dads in gaming. Full stop. Plus, getting a little personal here, alright? But playing a game about Kratos getting to know his son came at a time when I was unsure of how I would be interacting with my soon-to-be son, because he was born around that time. It was a nice parallel for me and made me relate to the game even more. Plus, guys, little aspects of the game, like how Atreus' AI is actually really good, and how there's a slow evolution of the world as you progress through the story to make you really feel like you're living in a world crammed full of exciting things to do.
And boy, did we do them.
Did pretty much everything.
Hey, another platinum for me.
Another platinum over there. If Red Dead is the evolution of open world games, Jamie, then God of War is the next step for narrative-driven action games. And this game fully raises the bar and pushes the medium ever further into the future. And I can't wait for the follow-up. And guys, I mean, Cory Barlog, come on, the dude's a legend. He was crying and everything. We saw the Metascore, it was great.
It's hard not to love him.
One of my earliest gaming memories is of playing Theme Hospital with my father, spending hours trying my best to save digital patients' lives and keeping my hospital up to code. So when I heard that a spiritual sequel was coming out, I became a child all over again. 2 Point Hospital perfectly fills the gap in a modern gaming era with all the adorable humour that Theme Hospital brought to the table. But don't let the sharp visuals and colourful art style fool you. 2 Point Hospital is actually quite a decent strategy management game as well. You've got to find the perfect balance between making money, keeping your hospital staff happy, and most of all, your patients healthy.
It's kind of like real life, except real life is more of a perfect balance between making money, not getting fat, sleeping the appropriate amount of hours, not suffering from depression.
But I'm terrible at that, but I'm pretty good at 2 Point Hospital. One of my favourite parts is how your hospital reacts depending on how well you look after it. If too many patients kick the bucket, then it becomes haunted by their ghosts and your janitors have to go full-on Ghostbusters. Fail to keep it clean and worm-like monobrow bugs start infesting the building. If the original Theme Hospital was the cake-based,
I like the base. I like the buttery biscuit base.
Then 2 Point Hospital is the icing, filling, ribbon trellis, candles and the box it comes in. I've already lost hours upon hours of my life to this game and just talking about it has me craving to go back, and that's why 2 Point Hospital is my game of the year.
Well said.
Thank you very much.